women have dominated the business, political, entertainment, and entrepreneurial landscape of Nigeria's multifaceted economy. My guest is an industrialist, a philanthropist, and community leader whose contribution to women empowerment, youth development, and entrepreneurship has qualified her as a trailblazer in beauty and cosmetics industry. Joining me on the show is the driving force behind Edysmart Nigeria Limited, producers of the popular Dallas beauty and personal care brand, Ugoeze Edna Nze. You're welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, ma'am. I tell you what, you have such an unassuming posture. How do you balance this humility with the fact that you have to run such a mighty empire?
Well, I will say that running Edysmart did not just come, as a day event. I started my career at First Bank PLC, and I learned so many things from First Bank because I worked in different branches from Isolo to Ikeja. And after my career at First Bank, I joined Wamco Foods PLC.
That is Friesland, right?
Friesland, Campina, Wamco. Then
there are so many names. They keep changing the names.
Keep changing the names. Okay, and my entry into Wamco also, I entered as a personal assistant to the managing director, CEO. Working with him, a Dutch man, exposed me to so many things in industry, organizing his diary, meetings, and everything he was, doing. And so I believe that in life, every stage that we find ourselves should be, help us. Every experience we gather from each stage should be able to carry us through as we go on into the journey of life. So from that time, I was actually well focused that yes, I wanted to be in industry. And even when I was at Ikeja Industrial for First Bank, all the customers we were having then were mostly the industries around Obankra. So I developed that passion to go into business. And then by the time I got married also, and my husband is somebody that is also focused in industry. So we had no other choice but to, key in and, actualize our dream of setting up Edysmart.
Yeah.
And by the way, Edysmart is Edna and Smart. That's how the name came about.
That's good, but I was going to take you on something before, but because of what you've just said now, can you tell me, what is the reason behind beauty and personal care? Why did you choose that area?
Well, the beauty, personal care relates to us as human beings, because if you have to wake up in the morning, take your bath, you're taking care of yourself. And so for taking your bath, you need other things, supplements, to assist you to make sure that that beauty that God has put inside of you is actualized. Okay, so the products are mainly beauty products, beauty enhancement, beauty maintenance, hair maintenance. So that is what we went into, and we believe that the crown of a woman is her hair, and so the moment the hair is done, a woman is made. Yes.
Excellent. Well, it's very obvious that you're very big on excellence. Your many awards and recognitions, brings that to bear. Tell us, how have you been able to maintain that excellent personality, particularly putting it through into the business? How big is that to you, excellence?
Well, in Edysmart, like our products, we call it is the Dallas brand. Our slogan is quality product you can trust. You can see that two items, two words, stands out. Quality, trust. So, we make sure we maintain the standard operational procedure right from our raw materials, the evaluation of the materials even before we buy, the in-process products, the packaging, everything we make sure, they meet to the standard that we can beat our chest at any time and say, yes, this product comes from Edysmart stable. And, that is also the reason why we've received so many commendations.
Yes.
And from NAFDAC, we receive an award from NAFDAC. Of course, you know how NAFDAC is. It's not easy for them to comment, but we won, the best quality products from the southwest zone of Nigeria when that, award was given. And we pride ourselves to what we bring to the public. Yes.
Excellent. So that actually comes through in everything that you do.
Yes.
Excellence, excellence, and excellence.
That's right. That's the word.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, what's your assessment of the beauty and personal care industry in Nigeria as today? How many years has Edysmart been in business? Looking through now, how would you place that industry in Nigeria? How far have you guys gone?
Well, Edysmart, we've been in trade for 30 decades. We're still counting.
For 3 decades?
Yes,
30 years?
30 years plus, yes. Dallas has been in the market. And I would say that, it's evolving. The cosmetic industry is very dynamic. And at the time we started, of course, there was those that were already there before we came in, and up to now, a lot of them actually have gone off the radar.
Really?
Yes, because of challenges that we are facing as,
like
the
production
manufacturing
challenges and
sector. Yes, there are so many challenges.
Such as?
Yeah, so many challenges. There's, the most critical one is the cost of energy. Yes, there is no light. We buy diesel, logistics, multiple taxation. There's so many challenges that industries are facing. And if you look at previously, now you need much more capital to operate than what happened when we started. Then you could start a business with, a little fund.
Yeah, but now.
Yes. I will tell you, for example, when we started the business, one of our major materials called petroleum jelly was sold at 1,200 per drum. Today, that same product is selling at 650,000 naira per drum. The same thing.
So keeping afloat has been daunting for many companies in that sector.
Exactly. So there are so many challenges for the indigenous industries and manufacturers. And today, if anybody is still in business, manufacturing, I think we should clap for them. Yes, because it's not easy. And, there are so many things you have to grapple with. So many. The logistics, the bad roads, breaking down of vehicles, and, high cost of vehicle replacement, high cost of funds. You need money as working capital. You pay a lot of interest to get your money, to get the loan, and all those things. So the challenges are, enormous. But then, when you are doing something you love doing, when you are doing something you have passion for, you have no other alternative than to continue to strive. So what I do personally is to have a positive mind towards what I am doing. In spite of the challenges that I'm going to face that same day, I go with a positive mind that today is going to be better than yesterday. So that's why we have continued to move forward.
Yeah, and it's been, you know, it's commendable. Let me use that word, for you to have stayed afloat for 30 years.
Yes.
And that is no mincemeat, I tell you.
Yes.
That is no mincemeat. Definitely, the Dallas products, is a household name.
Yes.
We have our little powders and our little antiperspirant here and there,
Yes.
that we keep, you know,
Yes.
in our beauty packs.
Yes.
So definitely everybody must have come across
Yeah,
Dallas.
sometimes I you know, when people tell me, oh, I've been using Dallas since I was in college. I've been using Dallas since I was in, you know, university. And you look at them and I begin to wonder, oh, how old am I?
Yeah.
But you see, you discover that the brand has gone so many places. The brand is better known than those behind it.
Exactly.
And we like to keep it that way.
And that's why we
Yeah.
call you the unsung hero.
Yes.
Because we must celebrate you.
Thank
we
you.
know the brand, but who is behind the brand? So it's such a great pleasure that you're here with us today. Now tell me, Edysmart Foundation, it's your women empowerment initiative. What brought that on? Why? How? I mean, I'm sure you must have given it some thought. Why that kind of initiative, and how has it fared? How impactful has it been for the women that you empower?
Well, Edysmart Foundation is actually coined from, like I said, my husband and myself. But for me, as a young girl, growing up, I say my mom inspired me, you know, to be compassionate, to have a compassionate heart. Because this is a woman that lost her husband early in life. And I saw her struggles. I saw her resilience, you know, the hard work she put in to make sure that her children were educated. And it wasn't funny because I had an uncle also who was like, you know, very unrelenting and wanted to remarry my mom after my father died, and my mom refused. Okay, and so not only did he take over my father's properties, he also took over some properties that my mom bought with her own money. Okay, but this is a guy who already have 2 wives. So my mom stood her ground. Because of that, up to today, we still have widows who are suffering the same thing in the hands of those who are expected to be of assistance to them when they lose their breadwinner. So I looked at it, thought about it, that these widows, they need help. So most of the things we do in Edysmart Foundation is to help these widows, empower them. We give them what we call interest-free microcredit funds for them to start various trades. And you discover that these women, when you empower them, you'll be amazed as to what they end up making. Some, you know, after doing their business, they are able to pay, you know, WAEC for their children. They're able to put their children to school,
yes.
And all that, you know, because women are very enterprising. When they are widowed and helpless, if you help them, you will see that the ones that are not lazy, they make, you know, much out of the little help you grant to them. So Edysmart Foundation had made a lot of impact as far as the women are concerned. Then also, another thing we do in Edysmart Foundation is Scholarship Foundation. We have a scholarship foundation also for indigent children.
Would that be under the youth empowerment?
Empowerment,
Okay.
yes. Yes, under youth empowerment, we have scholarship. As I'm talking with you, we have several of them. Some have already graduated. And then we have a committee back home that, you know, selects the children. So I don't have to know them. My husband doesn't have to know them. But then these are children.
As long as
they need help. And their parents, their mother, most of the time are widows who cannot really put their children to school. So what gives us joy, in essence, is when they send messages. Sometimes messages, telexes, saying the way they have fared and seeing that they are doing well.
That can be very touching.
Yes, very touching, very, very touching. And then you realize that, oh, these children could have been miscreants if you didn't, enable them to
do
go
better
to school. Then also, under our youth empowerment also, after my husband was coronated as the king, we discovered also that there are quite a lot of young people who are smoking, who are not doing anything. And we looked at it then and then gathered all of them and, bought brand new motorcycles, bikes for them so that they can be using it to do, transportation. And that actually brought some sanity, into their surrounding, because now they are engaged, they're doing something, and all that. Edysmart also is involved in, we constructed a block of classroom, administrative block for, the community, for the students, to be able to have a proper, place to study, because at that time there were issues and children were, sitting under the tree, writing their exams and all that. And we thought it fit that, oh, it's good to, have a good place for them where they could study in a good atmosphere. There's so many things we are doing at Edysmart. The only thing is that we are not publicizing it as in, throwing it on the TV.
No, you're telling us because we're celebrating what you have done in contributing positively to your community. So you talking about some of the things you've done is in order. So if you've done, you've done classrooms, you've given funds to widows, you've empowered the youth so that they can go to school. Are there any other thing that Edysmart Foundation is doing anymore? And
of course, we also have done the same empowerment, free interest credit. We did it at Lagos here, Bariga, precisely. And in December also, as for part of our CSR, we had, when Ojodu LCDA were doing the carnival, we do free hairstyling, we do skill acquisition. We do actually skill acquisition, for people who want to learn how to do hair. So we have a place there, and we collaborate with Lagos State Hairdressers and Barbers Association. We give them a lot of sponsorship. We support them. And also the, NASHCO, the National Association of Hairdressers, and cosmetologists. So we work hand in hand with them, and, in every way we support. Every year we give them support in all the ways we can.
Yeah, because that is exactly what we want you to put out, you contributing to your community. And ensuring that there are so many beneficiaries, both widows, children, the young adults, and even
the elderly,
and the artisans too.
And the elderly.
Absolutely.
Also, we have also, like during festival times, the Easter, Christmas, there are people who have nobody that can stretch out a hand to them. So these are the people that, we buy things for, buy wrapper, rice, all those things back, and then go give them, from their home, at their homes. And also, even in my community work, I gather women, they go help them clean up their homes and all those things, so to make them loved. And because the worst that can happen to an elderly person is to feel unloved and to feel that, oh, he's dying without any love around them. So at every point we have opportunity, we go and show love to them.
And don't we all need love? Everyone does. Yes. Even love is never too much. So we all need love, and with that show of love, I'm sure they feel part of the society and that somebody cares. Somebody cares. Well, you're still watching Think Nigeria. We'll be right back.
I'm smart, I'm pretty, and young. Dallas, Dallas, oh, eh, oh. I'm strong and trendy and bold. Dallas, Dallas, oh, eh, oh. His mouth is camp on scalp. Dallas, Dallas, oh, eh, oh.
Your hair speaks 1,000 words, and getting it to speak should be easy. Dallas Cream Relaxer and Conditioner is enriched with aloe vera and vitamins for that Dallas treatment that gets you talking with confidence. It's mild, it's calm on scalp.
Dallas, Dallas, oh, eh, oh.
Dallas Cosmetics, quality product you can trust.
Well, you're still watching Think Nigeria. With me is Ugoeze Edna Nze, the driving force behind Edysmart Nigeria Limited, makers of Dallas beauty products. Now, you've told us so much about your contribution to your community, what you're doing, and how you've impacted on your community. Now, something I have to say, even though you've touched on it a little bit, but you know, while we were trying to find out how qualified you are for this show, we found out that you are indeed a wife of a king.
Yes.
And that strikes a chord, because I'm like, for real? How have you been able to manage that enormous responsibility with being the head, practically, of Edysmart, of course in collaboration with the king, you know? So, but I'm sure you're the one that's there most of the time.
Yes.
How have you been able to buy? Because, you know, in our own small world, you know, our own little world of that, we are not even running an empire. You know, balancing family and work can be tedious and quite challenging. How have you been able to do that?
Well, you're very right about that. Yes, it hasn't been easy, but then I have learned to, you know, balance my work life, my career, my family, and my community work. And I try to set boundaries, you know. I program, this is when I have to do this, when I have to do that. And if I'm starting from my family, I work, yes, Monday to Fridays. Now, remember, now the children are grown. When they were younger, it was much more difficult. Okay, but then they are all grown up and doing one thing or the other, you know. And so I don't have a baby to babysit now. So I channel all my strength for now in my work as an industrialist. Then on Saturdays is my me day. I take care of myself.
It's my me day.
Yes,
you know,
my
like,
me day.
really?
Saturdays are my me day. I rest. I do whatever I want to do. Take care of my home. All right, then.
Do you party like I do?
Oh, well, no, I actually prefer to rest. I prefer actually to rest than to party. And on Sundays, I go to church. You know, now some of the children are at home, maybe after they're on holiday or one thing or the other. Then that Saturday, Sunday, we have family lunch. That's opportunity for all of us to eat together and then catch up with each other. Oh, we play music, we dance, and then we, you know, we banter. Okay, so with that, you know, my family is bonded. And of course, I also have grandchildren, though they're very, very small. So that's the days they come, they bring them, play with their grandma, play with grandpa, and all that. Yes, my husband as a king spends more time back in the southeast than in Lagos, because he has a community, and of course their own, he has his cabinet, he has people, you know, that help him to oversee one day-to-day running. For me, as a woman community leader, I also have women drawn from each community, each town from the community, that, each town that makes up the community. And then we have a chairperson. So it's these women that oversee the women, things as it affects the women population in the community, the local markets, the farm, the welfare of the women within the community. And this, I keep close contact with them. We communicate. They talk to me on a very regular basis for direction, for advice, for updates, and there's no conflict. So I give them time. They know that during the day, Ugoeze is very busy at work. So in the evening, they know I have all the time for them. I listen. So when there's something that, needs my urgent attention, they give me a proper voice note. And also, every August, we have August town meeting. This is a period when people from abroad come back from every other corner. Every branch of the community, the women come back. There we will sit down, articulate, check what has happened in the past, do our stock together, articulate what will happen in the coming months for the year, and then assess the progress we have made from the last August conference. So this is how the community is running, and that's the only way I have been able to cope with these three segments of my life. Because, it's a privilege to be able to, run these three arms and still remain, a good mother.
And still remain pretty
wife,
like you are.
an industrialist and a good community leader.
Excellent. That is so good, because sometimes, like I said, in our own little world, balancing everything can be quite challenging.
Yes.
But it's great to see that it's working for you.
It's working.
Yes, because I almost called you Lolo, and then you say it's Ugoeze,
Yes.
So
when the king makes a chief, I make the wife of the chief as a Lolo.
Also,
So
now I
that's
see.
it.
Now I get that. Now tell me, looking ahead, what is your legacy goals? What do you want to be your legacy? What are you aspiring to put in the sands of time?
Well, I think that for one to leave a legacy, you don't need to build a tower. Yes. I believe that every care that I give to people around me, people that come in contact with me, those burdens that are lifted up, they are legacies. Because it's in the heart of the person who, you have been compassionate to. They remember. You may not remember, because, see, a lot of time people will tell you, they bring someone and say, this is that child that, this is this
The person
that
assisted
you
or
saw
something.
through university.
But you have
and all
forgotten.
that, and you just say, really? What's your name? They are legacies. Yes. I also don't believe that, I do believe that the way we touch lives is much more important than the money we left in the bank. Okay? Because in as much as, yes, we do things and in such a way that one will be remembered. I don't want to mention names, but yes, there are people that in this country gave free education and all that. Today they are remembered for that, not even for their children's sake. These are legacies. I know that even as we, Edysmart is trying to touch lives, these are part of the legacies that we will leave behind. And then one day, somebody will look at, remember me and say, yes, there was a queen in this community who touched the lives of her people. Not only her people, other people that came close to her. And funny enough, there's a name they call me in the community, Ochirozo. That means somebody who gathers and trains. I didn't give that title to my name. You understand? It just came up like that. And people,
because that's what you're
people
doing.
know me that way. And knowing my husband for who he is, we do things together. Whatever I'm in, he's in 100%. So there are quite a lot of things we have done, equipping the health center, there's so many things we have done. The very first time my people had water, it was from us. The very first time they had light, it was from us. Okay, and then there are so many things we can't actually publicize or, now talk about in this program, that we have so much done that, yes, the legacies are going to be there for a long time, even after we have gone. But also, I am looking forward to a time when I can mentor more young people, girls especially. Now I have quite some mentees, married, single mothers and all that. They come for me for counseling, advice and all that. Some are in Nigeria, some have already relocated. But we've maintained close contacts because each time I also tell them my story, in my marriage, it had actually touched them to, kind of work things out in such a way that they end up having happy married life with their spouses. So all these things are indelible marks that we leave in the sand of time. And then those that have benefited from it will always remember you for it.
Excellent.
Yes.
So you've begun to
Planting
actually
them.
Start the legacy.
Yes. And of course, Edysmart is a company for more than a generation. We are moving forward, bringing things in, improving by the day, and making the organization, even for people, another generation. There are people that we employed. They came in as bachelors, spinsters. They are married. They have children. They are still with us. So these are things, and we have been working together as a team, and I think Edysmart will last forever, if I should say so.
If you've lasted 30 years,
yes.
So we're looking forward to another 30 years.
Still counting, yes.
So it's definitely going to outlive yourself and the king.
Yes,
and
certainly.
of course, be passed on
Yes.
into good hands.
Yes.
It's been a fantastic time sharing a conversation with you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And from Think Nigeria, we want you to continue to make us proud as Nigerians, as you've done, and of course, wish you more success.
Thank you very much.
This is from me to you. Thank you so much. Now, you know that this is Ugoeze Edna Nze. Thank you for being part of this edition of Think Nigeria. Here we're celebrating and ensuring heroes, game changers, trendsetters, and trailblazers in bringing about the positive narrative of Nigerians and Nigeria. I am Siju Alabi. Bye for now.